The deceptive calm. The first sign of the Zorblaxian arrival came on a quiet Tuesday morning. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, lead astronomer at the Arecibo Observatory, spilled her coffee as she stared at the readings on her monitor. The radio signals were unlike anything she'd ever seen. Structured, repeating, and undeniably artificial. "Holy shit," she whispered, fingers flying across her keyboard. "We're not alone." Within hours, observatories around the world confirmed the signal. A massive object, no, a fleet of objects, was approaching Earth at an impossible speed. The news spread like wildfire, and humanity collectively held its breath. United Nations Secretary General Amara Okoro stood before the General Assembly, her voice steady despite the weight of history on her shoulders. "We stand at the precipice of a new era," she declared. "Let us meet our cosmic neighbors with open minds and peaceful hearts." As the Zorblaxian ships entered Earth's orbit, the world watched in awe. Their sleek, crystalline vessels shimmered against the backdrop of space, a breathtaking display of advanced technology. The first transmission from the aliens was broadcast globally. "People of Earth, we come in peace. We are the Zorblaxians, travelers from a distant star. We seek friendship and the exchange of knowledge." The message was met with a mixture of excitement, skepticism, and fear. World leaders scrambled to form a unified response, while conspiracy theorists had a field day. In New York, Tokyo, and Lagos, crowds gathered in the streets, eyes turned skyward. Captain Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force watched the unfolding events with a growing sense of unease. "It's too easy," she muttered to her XO, Major Dmitry Volkov. "Why would an advanced civilization travel light years just to say hello?" Volkov shrugged. "Maybe they're just friendly." Chen shook her head. "Keep our systems at high alert. I've got a bad feeling about this." Over the next week, Earth prepared for first contact. A delegation of scientists, diplomats, and military personnel was assembled to meet the Zorblaxian representatives. The chosen site was a specially constructed facility outside Geneva, Switzerland. Dr. Akira Tanaka, xenobiologist and linguist, could barely contain his excitement as he entered the meeting chamber. "This is the moment we've dreamed of for centuries," he whispered to his colleague, Dr. Fatima Al-Rashid. The chamber doors slid open, and 3 Zorblaxians glided in. They were tall, slender beings with iridescent skin and large, almond-shaped eyes. Their movements were fluid, almost hypnotic. "Greetings, Earth friends," the lead Zorblaxian said, its voice a melodious hum. "I am Zorthal, emissary of the Galactic Confederation. We bring you gifts of knowledge and technology." Over the following days, the Zorblaxians shared glimpses of their advanced science. They spoke of clean energy, medical marvels, and faster-than-light travel. Earth's scientists were enthralled. Politicians salivated at the possibilities, and the public embraced their new alien friends. But not everyone was convinced. In a secure bunker beneath the Pentagon, Captain Chen pored over reports with a growing sense of dread. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a screen. "Power fluctuations at major military installations worldwide. And here, unexplained data breaches in our most secure networks." General Miranda Hawks frowned. "You think the Zorblaxians are behind this?" Chen nodded grimly. "They're laying the groundwork for something big. We need to." An alarm blared, cutting her off. Red lights flashed as panic erupted in the command center. "Multiple incoming," a technician shouted. "Orbital strikes targeting major cities and military bases." On screens around the world, the beautiful Zorblaxian ships transformed. What once looked like artistic crystalline structures now bristled with weapon arrays. Energy beams lanced down from the sky, vaporizing defense installations and government buildings. In Geneva, Dr. Tanaka watched in horror as Zorathel's form shimmer and change. The once beautiful alien elongated, its skin turning a sickly gray. Razor-sharp claws extended from its fingers. "Foolish humans," Zorthal hissed, all pretense of friendliness gone. Did you really think we came all this way for cultural exchange? The alien lashed out, its claws slicing through the gathered diplomats like paper. Dr. Al-Rashid pulled Tanaka down, narrowly avoiding decapitation. They crawled desperately for the exit as screams and the sound of energy weapons filled the air. Around the globe, the scene repeated itself. Zorblaxian infiltrators, hidden in plain sight, sprang into action. They sabotaged power grids, communications networks, and weapon systems. Humanity's carefully prepared defenses crumbled in minutes. Captain Chen sprinted through the chaos of the Pentagon, barking orders into her comlink. This is not a drill. All forces, initiate Protocol Omega. I repeat, initiate Protocol Omega. She reached the evacuation shuttle just as the building shook from a direct hit. As they lifted off, Chen watched Washington, D.C. burn. The Washington Monument toppled, and the Capitol dome cracked like an egg. Similar scenes played out across the planet. The Great Wall of China crumbled under alien fire. The Eiffel Tower twisted and fell. The pyramids of Giza, which had stood for millennia, were reduced to rubble in seconds. Human military forces attempted to rally, but they were outgunned and outmaneuvered at every turn. Fighter jets were swatted from the sky like flies. Tank battalions were vaporized before they could fire a shot. Naval fleets burned and sank, their missiles harmlessly absorbed by Zorblaxian energy shields. In low Earth orbit, the International Space Station found itself in the crossfire. Colonel Yuki Tanaka watched helplessly as debris from destroyed satellites hurtled past. "Mayday, Mayday," she called out, knowing no help would come. "This is the ISS. We've lost all systems and are losing orbit. If anyone can hear this." Her transmission cut off as a piece of space junk tore through the station's hull. Back on the ground, pockets of resistance began to form. In the ruins of London, Royal Marine Sergeant Jack O'Neill led a group of survivors through underground tunnels. "We're not done yet," he growled, checking the charge on his rifle. "This is our planet, and we're going to take it back." In the skies over what was once Sao Paulo, Brazilian Air Force pilot Maria Santos flew her damaged fighter jet on a suicide run against the Zorblaxian dropship. "For Earth," she cried, ramming her plane into the alien craft. The resulting explosion took out 3 city blocks. As the first day of the invasion drew to a close, the remnants of humanity's leadership gathered in hidden bunkers and makeshift command centers. The situation was dire. Major population centers were under Zorblaxian control. Earth's infrastructure lay in ruins. Millions were dead or missing. In the Rocky Mountains, a battered Captain Chen stood before a group of shell-shocked military and civilian leaders. Her uniform was torn and bloody, her eyes hard with determination. "I know we're beaten," she said, her voice cutting through the despair. "I know it looks hopeless, but we are not defeated. We are humanity. We've faced extinction before, and we've always found a way to survive." She pointed to a map of Zorblaxian positions. "They think they've won. They think we'll roll over and die, but they don't know us. They don't know our strength, our ingenuity, our sheer bloody-mindedness." Chen's voice rose, filled with fire. "We're going to fight. We're going to bleed them for every inch of our planet. And in the end, we're going to win. Because this is our home, and we will never, ever give it up." A ragged cheer went up from the assembled humans. As night fell on a broken world, the seeds of resistance were sown. The Zorblaxians had won the first battle, but the war for Earth was far from over. The Underground Revolution. 3 months after the Zorblaxian invasion, the ruins of New York City stood as a testament to humanity's near defeat. The once proud skyline was a jagged silhouette of broken buildings and twisted metal. In the shadow of a collapsed skyscraper, a small group of survivors huddled around a makeshift radio. "This is Aurora," a voice crackled through the static. "The fireflies dance at midnight. I repeat, the fireflies dance at midnight." Ex-Army Ranger Marcus Cole nodded to his team. "That's our cue. Let's move." The diverse group sprang into action. There was Zora Malik, a brilliant hacker whose fingers flew across a jury-rigged tablet. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the astronomer who first detected the Zorblaxian approach, now turned her analytical mind to understanding alien tech. Jamal Washington, a former paramedic, carried a bag of scavenged medical supplies. Rounding out the team was Yuki Tanaka, the ISS astronaut who'd miraculously survived her station's destruction. They moved through the ruins with practiced stealth, avoiding Zorblaxian patrols and the ever-present drone of alien search craft. Their destination, a hidden entrance to the old subway system, now serving as a vital artery for the human resistance. As they descended into the darkness, Marcus's mind wandered to the day everything changed. He'd been on leave, visiting his parents in Brooklyn when the attack came. In the chaos that followed, he'd watched helplessly as a Zorblaxian energy beam vaporized his childhood home, and his family with it. "Focus, soldier," he muttered to himself, pushing the memories aside. The team navigated the labyrinthine tunnels, finally arriving at a heavy steel door. Zara approached, tapping out a complex rhythm. After a tense moment, the door swung open, revealing a bustling underground command center. "Welcome back," greeted Aurora, the enigmatic leader of this resistance cell. Her dark skin was illuminated by the glow of numerous screens displaying data streams and security feeds. "We've made a breakthrough." The team gathered around a central holographic display as Aurora explained. "We've been analyzing the chemical composition of Zorblaxian bodies recovered from downed ships. Dr. Rodriguez, would you like to share your findings?" Elena stepped forward, her eyes bright with excitement despite the dark circles beneath them. "It's our water," she said. "Earth's water is toxic to them. Their biology is silicon-based, and something in our water, perhaps a combination of minerals and microorganisms, causes a severe allergic reaction." A murmur ran through the assembled resistance fighters. Marcus leaned forward, hope kindling in his chest for the first time in months. "How can we weaponize this?" Aurora smiled grimly. "That's where you come in. We need to broadcast this information to every resistance cell worldwide. But to do that, we need to hijack a Zorblaxian communication relay." She pointed to a blinking red dot on the map. "There's one here, in what used to be Central Park. It's heavily guarded, but with this information, every cell on Earth can start fighting back effectively." Marcus nodded, his mind already formulating tactics. "We'll need a diversion. Yuki, how's our stock of improvised EMTs?" The former astronaut grinned. "Ready to fry some alien circuits, boss." As the team prepared for their mission, Jamal approached Marcus with a troubled expression. "I've been treating some of the refugees we smuggled in last week," he said in a low voice. "They're talking about human collaborators, people working with the Zorblaxians, trading information for special treatment." Marcus's jaw tightened. "Keep your ears open. The last thing we need is a mole in our operation." Hours later, the team was in position around the Central Park relay. The once beautiful green space had been transformed into an alien fortification, with strange crystalline structures jutting from the earth. "On my mark," Marcus whispered into his comm. 3, 2, 1. Now. Yuki activated the EMP devices, sending out pulses that disrupted the Zorblaxians' sensitive equipment. Alarms blared as confusion erupted among the alien guards. Marcus and Zara used the chaos to infiltrate the main relay building. They fought their way through, Zara's hacked Zorblaxian weapon proving devastatingly effective against its former owners. "I'm in," Zara announced as they reached the central console. Her fingers danced across the alien interface, uploading the water vulnerability data and broadcasting it on all frequencies. Suddenly, a familiar voice came through their comms. "This is Aurora. Abort mission. We have a..." The transmission cut off abruptly. "It's a trap," Marcus realized too late. The door behind them slid open, revealing a squad of Zorblaxian soldiers led by a human in a crisp suit. "Thank you for leading us straight to your little hideout," The collaborator sneered. The Zorblaxian overseer will be most pleased. Fighting erupted throughout the park as hidden alien reinforcements emerged. The resistance team found themselves surrounded, outgunned, and betrayed. In the chaos, Dr. Rodriguez made a desperate gamble. She smashed open a water main, sending a spray of liquid arsenic towards the nearest Zorblaxians. The effect was immediate and horrifying. The aliens writhed in agony, their skin blistering and melting on contact with the water. "Fall back," Marcus ordered. "Use the water as cover." The team fought their way out, using the Zorblaxians' newfound weakness to their advantage. But as they reached the extraction point, Jamal fell, hit by an energy blast. "Leave me," he coughed, pressing a data drive into Marcus's hand. "Get this to Aurora. It's everything I learned about the collaborators." With heavy hearts, the surviving team members escaped into the underground as the sound of alien dropships filled the air above. Back in the resistance base, they found scenes of devastation. The collaborators had led a Zorblaxian strike team straight to their hideout. Many resistance members lay dead or wounded. Aurora emerged from the smoke, her arm in a makeshift sling. "We've been compromised," she said grimly. "But thanks to your broadcast, we're not the only ones fighting back now." Screens around the command center flickered to life, showing news from around the world. In Tokyo, civilians armed with water cannons drove back alien patrols. In Rio de Janeiro, resistance fighters lured Zorblaxian ships into crashing into the sea. Everywhere, humanity was using its newfound knowledge to strike back. As Marcus watched the reports, he felt a mix of hope and determination. "We've lost this base," he said, "but we've gained a planet full of allies. Where do we go from here?" Aurora's eyes gleamed with a fierce light. "Before the attack, our long-range scanners picked up something strange in the Sahara. An energy signature that doesn't match known Zorblaxian tech. I think it's time we went on an expedition." As the survivors gathered what supplies they could salvage, Marcus looked at his battered but unbowed team. They had lost much, but they had also discovered a critical weakness in their seemingly invincible enemy. More importantly, they had rekindled the flame of resistance in millions of hearts around the globe. The Zorblaxians might have won the first battles, but humanity was far from defeated. With water as their weapon and determination as their shield, the underground revolution was just beginning. As they set out for the mysteries of the Sahara, Marcus allowed himself a small smile. The real fight for Earth was about to begin. The ancient secret. The merciless Saharan sun beat down on the small convoy of repurposed alien vehicles. Inside the lead transport, Marcus Cole studied a holographic map, its eerie blue glow illuminating the determination on his face. "We're approaching the coordinates," he announced to his team. "Everyone remember, we're not just fighting Zorblaxians out here. We're racing against them." Dr. Elena Rodriguez nodded, her eyes never leaving the complex scanning equipment she'd cobbled together from Earth and alien tech. "The energy signature is getting stronger. Whatever's out there, it's big." Zara Malik, her hacking skills now turned to interpreting alien data streams, frowned at her console. "We've got company. Zorblaxian scout ships, coming in fast from the northeast. They're after the same thing we are," Aurora mused, her dark eyes narrowing. "Yuki, can you get us there faster?" The former astronaut, now their expert pilot, grinned as she gunned the engines. "Hold on to your butts," she warned as the vehicle surged forward, kicking up a massive plume of sand. As they crested a massive dune, a collective gasp went up from the team. Before them lay a vast, shimmering dome of energy, barely visible against the desert backdrop. And surrounding it, a small army of Zorblaxian troops and excavation equipment. "Well," Marcus said dryly, "I guess we found what we were looking for." Aurora quickly took charge. "Zara, jam their communications. Elena, any way to penetrate that dome." Before Elena could answer, the air filled with the screech of Zorblaxian energy weapons. The aliens had spotted them. "Evasive maneuvers," Yuki shouted, swerving the transport violently. The next few minutes were chaos as the human resistance fighters engaged in a running battle across the dunes. Marcus and Aurora provided covering fire with salvaged alien weapons, while Elena frantically worked to unravel the secrets of the energy dome. "I've got it," she finally shouted over the din of combat. "It's responding to a specific frequency. I think I can." Yes. A section of the dome flickered and vanished, revealing a dark entrance. Yuki didn't hesitate, ramming their vehicle through the opening seconds before it closed behind them. Inside, they found themselves in a vast, dimly lit chamber. Strange, angular architecture surrounded them, covered in inscriptions that seemed to shift and change as they looked at them. "This isn't Zorblaxian," Elena breathed, her scientific curiosity overtaking her fear. "This technology is far beyond even their capabilities." A distant explosion rocked the chamber. The Zorblaxians were trying to break through the dome. "We need to move," Marcus urged. "Find whatever's generating that energy signature and figure out how to use it." The team cautiously made their way deeper into the ancient structure. As they walked, lights flickered to life around them, as if the place was awakening from a long slumber. They entered a massive circular room dominated by a central pillar of swirling energy. Surrounding it were control panels covered in the same shifting symbols they'd seen earlier. "This is it," Elena said, approaching one of the panels. "The source of the energy signature. It's incredible. This technology must be millions of years old, but it's still active." Zara joined her, her fingers hovering over the strange controls. "I think I can interface with it. It's like nothing I've ever seen, but there's a pattern to it." Suddenly, Aurora tensed. "We're not alone," she whispered, drawing her weapon. From the shadows emerged a figure that made them all freeze in shock. It was a human woman, but unlike any they'd ever seen. Her skin had a metallic sheen, and circuitry patterns pulsed beneath its surface. "Welcome, children of Earth," the figure said, her voice resonating strangely. "I am the Guardian. I have waited eons for your arrival." Questions exploded from the team, but the Guardian held up a hand for silence. "There is little time. The devourers you call Zorblaxians seek to claim this place and its power for themselves. I cannot allow that." "Who are you?" Elena asked, her scientific mind racing. "What is this place?" The Guardian's eyes seemed to look through them, seeing across vast stretches of time. "We were the Forerunners. We seeded the galaxy with life, nurturing species with the potential for greatness. Earth was our final and greatest project." She gestured to the swirling pillar of energy. "This is the Nexus, a bridge between realities and a font of unimaginable power. We left it here, hidden and protected, until humanity was ready to claim its cosmic inheritance." A massive tremor shook the chamber. The Zorblaxians were breaking through. "There's no more time for explanations," the Guardian said urgently. "You must bond with the Nexus. Only then can you drive back the Devourers and claim your destiny among the stars." Marcus stepped forward. "I'll do it," he said firmly. Aurora caught his arm. "We don't know what it will do to you," she warned. He gave her a sad smile. "Better me than risking our scientist or our hacker. You'll need them to figure this place out." Before anyone could argue further, Marcus strode to the Nexus. The Guardian nodded approvingly and pressed a series of symbols on the nearest control panel. The pillar of energy expanded, enveloping Marcus. He cried out, his body lifting off the ground as tendrils of light seemed to pour into him. At that moment, the chamber's entrance exploded inward. Zorblaxian troops poured in, led by a towering figure, the Overseer itself. "So," the alien leader hissed, its voice dripping with malice, "the vermin have found the prize. No matter. We will take it from your corpses." The Overseer raised a massive energy weapon, aiming directly at the defenseless Aurora. Time seemed to slow. Suddenly, a blinding flash filled the room. Where Marcus had been floating now stood a being of pure energy, pulsing with power. "No," Marcus's voice boomed, now layered with something ancient and powerful. You will never harm anyone again." He raised a hand, and bolts of energy lashed out, vaporizing the Zorblaxian troops. The Overseer fired its weapon, but the blast dissipated harmlessly against Marcus's new form. With a gesture, Marcus lifted the Overseer off the ground. "Your reign of terror ends now," he declared, "not just here, but across the stars." There was a flash of light, and the Overseer simply ceased to exist. Marcus turned to his awestruck team, his form slowly solidifying back into something more human, though his eyes now crackled with energy. "I understand now," he said, his voice filled with wonder. "I can see everything. The Zorblaxians, their entire empire. I can end this war with a thought." Elena stepped forward cautiously. "Marcus, are you still you?" He smiled, and for a moment, they saw their old friend beneath the cosmic power. "I'm me," he assured them. "But I'm also so much more. And now, we have work to do." The Guardian approached, bowing her head slightly. "The mantle of the Forerunners passes to you, inheritors. The galaxy awaits." As the team gathered around Marcus, trying to comprehend the magnitude of what had just occurred, Aurora's eyes gleamed with a mix of hope and trepidation. "So," she said, a hint of her old wry humor returning, "I guess Earth strikes back just became Earth inherits the galaxy. What's our next move?" Marcus's eyes flickered with starlight as he gazed at his friends, the weight of cosmic responsibility settling on his shoulders. "First," he said, "we free our world. Then, we explore the legacy we've been given." As if in response, the ancient machinery around them hummed to life, holographic star maps springing into existence. Humanity's next great adventure was about to begin. The cosmic chess game. The war room deep within the ancient Forerunner base hummed with activity. Holographic displays showed real-time battles unfolding across Earth and the solar system. At the center of it all stood Marcus, his eyes glowing with otherworldly energy as he coordinated humanity's counteroffensive. "Zara, redirect the London resistance cell to Trafalgar Square," he instructed, his voice resonating with newfound authority. "The Zorblaxians are attempting to establish a new command node there." Zara's fingers danced across the alien interface, now as familiar to her as any Earth computer. "Done. They'll hit it with water bombs in 3, 2, 1. On the display, a blue flash erupted in the heart of London. Zorblaxian signatures winked out by the dozens. Dr. Elena Rodriguez burst into the room, her eyes wild with excitement. "You need to see this," she panted, pulling up a new holographic window. "I've been analyzing the Forerunner database. The Zorblaxians, they're not what we thought they were." The image showed a Zorblaxian, but unlike anything they'd seen before. Instead of the gray, elongated form they were familiar with, this being was ethereal, almost beautiful in its complexity. "They're energy beings," Elena explained. "The forms we've been fighting are just shells, temporary bodies they use to interact with our physical realm." Aurora frowned, her tactical mind racing. "So when we kill them with water, we're not killing them," Elena finished. "We're just destroying their physical forms. Their true selves retreat back to their home dimension." Marcus nodded slowly, cosmic understanding flowing through him. "That's why they want the Nexus," he realized. "It's not just a weapon or a power source. It's a bridge between realities. They're looking for a permanent way into our universe." An alarm blared, cutting through the revelation. Yuki, monitoring the orbital defenses, called out, "Massive Zorblaxian fleet incoming. They're throwing everything they have at us." Marcus closed his eyes, reaching out with his new senses. "No," he said quietly, "not everything. This is just the first wave. Their main force, it's still coming." He turned to his team, his oldest friends, his expression grave. "We need to take the fight to them. We need to strike at their home dimension." The next hours were a blur of preparation and combat. As the Zorblaxian armada descended on Earth, humanity launched its most daring counterattack yet. Resistance cells around the globe, armed with Forerunner-enhanced weapons and the knowledge of their enemy's true nature, struck at key Zorblaxian installations. In the skies, fighters piloted by the likes of Yuki engaged in desperate dogfights, using the aliens' water vulnerability to turn the tide. But the true battle was taking place on a scale beyond human comprehension. Marcus, channeling the full power of the Nexus, reached across dimensions. In the abstract realm of Zorblaxian existence, he appeared as a blazing comet of defiance. The true form of the Zorblaxian Overseer manifested before him, a vast, pulsating network of energy tendrils, each one representing billions of connected minds. Impossible, the Overseer's thoughts boomed across the interdimensional void. No physical being has ever breached our realm. Marcus stood his ground, power crackling around him. Humanity is more than you bargained for, he declared. We are the inheritors of the Forerunners. This invasion ends now. The Overseer's form rippled with what might have been laughter. Foolish child, we have consumed countless civilizations. The Forerunners were but an appetizer. Your species will be our final feast before we take our place as the dominant life form across all realities. As they clashed on the cosmic scale, the battle raged on Earth. Aurora led a strike team to the Zorblaxians' main terrestrial base, fighting through waves of desperate aliens to reach their dimensional anchor point. Zara, interfacing with both Forerunner and Zorblaxian tech, worked feverishly to erect a planetary defense grid. Come on, she muttered, acutely aware that her actions could mean the difference between victory and extinction. Alina and the Guardian raced against time in the Forerunner base, searching for a way to seal the dimensional rift permanently. There, Alina shouted, deciphering a crucial bit of alien code. We can use the Nexus to create a resonance cascade. It'll cut off their access to our reality forever. In orbit, Yuki led a desperate gambit. Forerunner technology had allowed them to reactivate and enhance the International Space Station. Now it served as humanity's last line of defense against the Zorblaxian fleet. All wings, form up, Yuki commanded, her voice steady despite the overwhelming odds. Remember your training. Remember Earth. Let's send these interdimensional squids back to whatever hell they came from. The space battle was like nothing ever seen in human history. Zorblaxian capital ships, each the size of a small moon, exchanged fire with hybrid human Forerunner vessels. Yuki's fighters darted between the behemoths, exploiting weaknesses and causing critical damage. Back in the abstract realm, Marcus grappled with the full might of the Zorblaxian consciousness. It was a battle of wills as much as of power, with the fate of two universes hanging in the balance. Your civilization is young, the Overseer taunted, its energies lashing out to envelop Marcus. You cannot hope to stand against billions of years of evolution and conquest. Marcus felt himself being overwhelmed, the alien consciousness threatening to subsume his very being. In that moment of desperation, he reached out not to the cosmic power of the Forerunners, but to his own humanity. He thought of Earth, not as a strategic asset, but as home. He remembered the taste of his mother's cooking, the sound of children laughing in a park, the feeling of a cool breeze on a summer evening. He thought of his team, of the unbreakable bonds forged in the Resistance, of Aurora's determination, Zora's brilliance, Alina's curiosity, Yuki's courage. We may be young, Marcus replied, his human spirit burning brighter than any cosmic force, but we will never stop fighting. For our home, for our future, for each other. That's something you could never understand. With a tremendous effort, Marcus broke free of the Overseer's grasp. He reached out, drawing power not just from the Nexus, but from every human heart fighting for survival across the planet. Humanity stands as one, he declared, his voice echoing across dimensions. And we say, no. There was a blinding flash, a sensation of reality itself shuddering, and then silence. Marcus found himself back in the Forerunner base, his team rushing to his side as he collapsed, the glow fading from his eyes. Did it work? He gasped. Aurora helped him to his feet, a rare smile breaking across her face. "See for yourself," she said, gesturing to the holographic displays. All across the Earth, Zorblaxian forces were disappearing in flashes of light. Their ships in orbit blinked out of existence. The interdimensional invasion was over. As the team celebrated their impossible victory, the Guardian approached Marcus. "You have done what even we thought impossible," she said, her tone filled with respect. "You have proven humanity worthy of the Forerunner legacy." Marcus looked at his friends, then back at the Guardian. "What happens now?" he asked. The Guardian's form shimmered, revealing glimpses of the vast knowledge and power contained within. "Now," she said, "your real journey begins. The galaxy awaits, inheritors. Will you answer its call?" As cheers of victory echoed across a liberated Earth, Marcus and his team shared a look of determination and excitement. They had won the cosmic chess game, but the true adventure was just beginning. The paradigm shift. The dawn of a new era broke over a battered but unbroken Earth. In the months following humanity's victory over the Zorblaxians, the planet buzzed with a mixture of relief, excitement, and apprehension. The impossible had happened. Not only had humanity defeated an overwhelmingly superior alien force, but they had also inherited the mantle of an ancient, highly advanced civilization. In the heart of the Forerunner base, now serving as the headquarters for Earth's fledgling interstellar operations, Marcus Cole stood before a radiant column of energy. The Nexus pulsed with power, its rhythms somehow in sync with his own heartbeat. "Are you sure about this?" Aurora asked, concern evident in her voice. "Merging with the Nexus permanently. There's no going back." Marcus turned to his team, his friends, gathered around him. Elena, her eyes alight with scientific curiosity. Zara, her fingers twitching as if longing to interface with the alien technology. Yuki, standing tall and proud, a testament to human resilience. "Unsure," Marcus said, his voice steady. The Guardian was clear. To truly unlock the Forerunner legacy and guide humanity into the cosmic community, we need a bridge between our understanding and theirs. I'm that bridge. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stepped forward, a holographic clipboard flickering in her hand. "All simulations show a high probability of success," she reported. "But Marcus, the changes to your physiology, your consciousness, you won't be human anymore, not entirely." Marcus smiled softly. "Maybe not, but I'll always be me, and I'll always be fighting for humanity." With nods of understanding and murmured words of encouragement, his team stepped back. Marcus took a deep breath and stepped into the Nexus. The merger was unlike anything he had experienced before. It was as if every atom of his being was being unmade and remade, infused with cosmic energy and primordial knowledge. He saw the birth of stars, the rise and fall of civilizations across countless worlds, the intricate web of space-time itself. When it was over, Marcus emerged transformed. His body shimmered with an inner light, circuits of energy pulsing beneath his skin. His eyes, when he opened them, held the depth of galaxies. "Marcus," Aurora approached cautiously. "How do you feel?" He turned to her, a smile both familiar and alien crossing his face. "I feel everything," he said, his voice resonating with newfound power. "I understand now. The Forerunners, the Zorblaxians, the true nature of the universe, and our place in it." Before he could elaborate, alarms blared throughout the base. Zara rushed to a console, her eyes widening as she interpreted the data. "We're picking up a massive energy surge," she reported. "Something's coming through the Nexus." The team braced themselves, weapons at the ready. But instead of an invading force, a single figure materialized before them. It was a Zorblaxian, but unlike any they had seen before. This being was majestic, its energy form shimmering with colors beyond human perception. "Peace," the being said, its thoughts translating directly into their minds. "I am Zor-Ith, envoy of the Zorblaxian conclave. We come not as conquerors, but as supplicants." Marcus stepped forward, his transformed consciousness allowing him to communicate on the Zorblaxian's level. "Explain," he demanded, the power of the Nexus swirling around him. Zor-Eth's form rippled with what might have been embarrassment. "The Overseer's actions were not sanctioned by our people as a whole," it explained. "In defeating it, you have not only saved your world but brought a great change to ours. We stand humbled and seek to make amends." The revelation sent shockwaves through the team. The implacable enemy they had fought so hard against was extending an olive branch. The paradigm had truly shifted. Over the next hours, as world leaders were briefed and humanity held its collective breath, Marcus and Zor-Eth engaged in a dialogue beyond human comprehension. They spoke of cosmic truths, of the delicate balance between realities, and of the role intelligent life was meant to play in the grand tapestry of existence. Finally, Marcus addressed his team, and the world leaders gathered virtually. "The Zorblaxians were not our true enemy," he explained, his words broadcast globally. "They were as much victims as we were, trapped in a cycle of consumption by the corrupted will of the Overseer. With its defeat, they've remembered their original purpose." Elena leaned forward, her scientific curiosity piqued. "And what purpose is that?" Marcus smiled. "To guide and protect. The Zorblaxians were meant to be caretakers of reality, not its devourers. They lost their way eons ago, but now, thanks to us, they've found it again." "So what happens now?" Yuki asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. Marcus's expression turned grave. "Now we face the real threat. The force that corrupted the Zorblaxians, that has been slowly unraveling the fabric of reality itself. An entity the Forerunners called the Void." Holographic displays sprang to life, showing a map of the galaxy. Dark tendrils seemed to creep between the stars, a cancer spreading across space and time. "This is why the Forerunners created the Nexus," Marcus continued. "Why they seeded worlds like Earth. They knew they couldn't defeat the Void alone. They needed a diverse coalition of species, each bringing their unique strengths to the fight." Aurora, ever the tactician, immediately grasped the implications. "So the Zorblaxian invasion, our victory, inheriting the Forerunner legacy, it was all preparation for this larger conflict." Marcus nodded. "A cosmic forge, tempering us for the challenges ahead. And we're not alone." As if on cue, the Nexus flared again. This time, a parade of holographic figures appeared, alien beings of all shapes and sizes, some familiar from Forerunner records, others completely unknown. Zor-Eth's thoughts radiated a mix of hope and determination. Humanity's victory has awakened dormant Forerunner installations across the galaxy. Other species, other inheritors, are answering the call. The alliance the Forerunners dreamed of is finally becoming a reality. The implications were staggering. Humanity, in the span of a few short years, had gone from a single-planet species fighting for survival to a key player in a galactic coalition. As the world leaders debated and plans were made, Marcus turned to his team. "I know it's a lot to take in," he said, his voice carrying echoes of the friend they'd always known. "But I need you, all of you. Elena's scientific brilliance, Zara's technological intuition, Yuki's piloting skills, Aurora's strategic mind. You're not just my friends. You're humanity's best hope." Aurora looked at her team, then back at Marcus. A slow smile spread across her face. "Well," she said, "I guess Earth inherits the galaxy. Just became Earth saves reality. When do we start?" Marcus's eyes twinkled with starlight and human determination. "Right now," he said. "The Void is coming, but so are we." As the team sprang into action, coordinating with their new alien allies and preparing Earth for its new role in the cosmos, there was a palpable sense of excitement and purpose. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger than ever. They had inherited an ancient legacy and forged unlikely alliances. The road ahead would be challenging, filled with wonders and dangers beyond imagination. But as Marcus looked at his team, at the indomitable human spirit they represented. He knew one thing for certain: whatever the universe had in store, humanity was ready. The paradigm had shifted, and the greatest adventure in human history was about to begin.